Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. This right here forever.
Hello and welcome to another edition of MMA Uncaged, episode 4. Proudly brought to you by Ginger Fox Coffee, guaranteed to make you as clever as a fox. Check out gingerfoxcoffee.com for more details. I know they've just roasted a fresh batch, so get your orders in now. Well, joining me as always is one of the legends of South African MMA, Garreth Soldier Boy McClellan. Let's talk about Gilbert Burns and what a rock star he is becoming. 6 fights unbeaten and just tearing through the division right now.
Yes, you must have been so stoked to see some sport. Premier League, 17th of June.
It's confirmed. It's confirmed now,
It's happening, yes, that's correct. But back to that savagery. Oh, I told you. That kid has just got another mentality. He's a typical Brazilian that has a very, very high skill set. And he's not afraid to stand in front of you. The way that he walked him down, good head movement, good feinting, and then just threw. When he threw, you see that he threw so much intention. It was unbelievable. And I told you he was a guy that you had to watch out for. So excited for that kid. Really, really excited.
If you look at after the fight, they broke it down in terms of significant strikes. And I mean, Gilbert Burns is like legit BJJ. Everyone expected him to take Tyron Woodley down, submit him, but he threw more strikes, and it really was one-way traffic in Las Vegas.
So if I think about him and I look at him, I think there's a few other guys that come to mind. A guy like John Jones in his methodical way. He's a little bit more calm. He's got a lot of championship experience, but that intention inside him is evil when he throws. He throws to hurt you every time. Borrachino, a man that I faced, same. He tries to hit your head off with every punch, kick a hole through your body. Amazing cardio, physical specimens, just so strong, and just everywhere. They're good everywhere. They can wrestle. You put them against a world-class wrestler, they'll be able to handle their own. Then on the ground, they just got this unbelievable skill set. Gilbert Burns is a phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner. I don't think guys know how good his jiu skills are. He mounted Tyron Woodley at one stage, and just from that pure strength that Tyron Woodley possesses, was he able to get out? But he was stuck there for a large portion of the time. And that's not an easy thing to do. And then just this intention, this like, you can't hurt me. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to stop me. I'm not scared of you. And I'm going to hunt you and I'm going to break you. And it showed. Tyron Woodley came out good, nice and relaxed, composed. You could see he got hit with the first 3 or 4 bombs on the chin, put him down, and it was just one-way traffic from there. I really, really find it hard to now see anybody that's in front of him in the way that he dispatched Tyron Woodley, and he did it easily. He didn't work. It didn't look like the way that Kamaru Usman beat Tyron Woodley. Kamaru Usman worked. Gilbert Burns beat him up. So, yeah, very interesting. I think he's all of a sudden put his name in the pot. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a top 3 guy, his next run out, and then potentially a shot at Kamaru if Kamar's still their champion. That's an interesting division, eh? It really is.
I mean, Woodley is a former champion. He's like legit, and Burns made him look average. Take us into that sort of psychology of how someone can dominate an opponent. I mean, because skills-wise, Woodley is no slouch. He's a former champion, but Burns just looked like he was another gear.
I think when you get into fights where you go being in very high-pressure situations and you face a lot and see a lot and everything gets thrown at you and you then become comfortable. and you start to become too obsessed with the wrong things. I think you forget about the killer instinct that's needed. I think there was something that I if I look back now, I could say definitely was a problem. I just, after EFC, I had fought a lot of hard fights, not of UFC level, but I had experienced the highs, the lights, the action, the quick action, and going into the UFC, kind of like, I felt comfortable in front of anything. It was like I didn't think that there was anything that they could throw at me that made me nervous, and it didn't. And I think at some stages it might have made me a little bit complacent. And I think it's the same thing that's happened with Tyron. He saw it against Kamaru Usman. He put Robbie Lawler away like a savage. He defended his belt successfully. He was putting his hand up to be the best middleweight, the welterweight of all times. And then I think he didn't fear Kamaru. Like, he didn't have that fear of him. I've been in here, I've seen everything. I've fought the bigger fights than you. I have way more experience. Sometimes that thought pattern of I have more experience than you can actually be to your detriment. And I think that's what's happened. I think he went in there thinking, listen, Gilbert Burns hasn't shown me anything. The one thing he hasn't seen for a long time is that just savagery, that aggression. He just wants to kill. As the fights get up higher and you get into those higher ranked fights, guys are a lot more calculated. They still have that killer instinct in them, but they become snipers and not gorillas.
I think with the way that Gilbert Burns struck, he just delivered snipe shots after snipe shots. The accuracy was insane. And Tyron Woodley, in an Instagram post afterwards, said he didn't even know how he got hit with the elbow. And that was one of the changing points. It really just changed the fight like that once he got hit with that elbow. And just shows Gilbert Burns is hungry.
So once again, it's just, he doesn't look like he's doing much on the floor. He doesn't look like this amazing jiu-jitsu guy, but he's so in control. The elbow was perfect, good balance, good structure over the top of the guy, really controlled Woodley and everything that he was doing, making him busy, fake, boom. And it was perfect. It was small, it was short, it wasn't a big one. You didn't see a lot of action in it, but just because of the way that he was controlling the ground situation, he was able to hit clean and hit fast. And those things count when you got a guy like that on top of you. I think if you looked at him, he didn't look rushed. You could see it was game. You could see he was having fun. He was really up to the challenge, and yeah, he's an interesting guy to watch. I'm really excited about him. I think he could be a future champion for us. I think he's a lot in the lines of Paulo Costa. Big, strong guys for the division. Hit very hard, and they're not afraid to get in a scrap. We saw that Borrachino and Yoel Romero. Borrachino can take it as well as he can give it.
I want to ask you something. If you look at it at a lot of fights, there's one particular moment that sometimes changes the tempo, changes the approach, and it's often a significant moment in the fight that sometimes even sways the judges. But do you think there's sometimes where a fighter will be up against his opponent and he takes a shot and he suddenly steps back and goes, I shouldn't do that again, and all of a sudden that game plan has gone out the window?
So look, I think there's many moments in a fight where you get cracked, or you get taken down, or you escape a submission and you go, can't do that again. And then that all of a sudden creates a doubt in your mind. And then all these emotions start wrapping around that thought pattern. And then it's about how do you control that? How do you calm yourself down? How do you refocus yourself, pull yourself back into your game plan, keep working? You are going to find stages in the fight where you are going to have to improvise, and you're going to have to think on your feet, and you're going to be able to react to what's in front of you. That's the mark of a really good fighter. That's a mark of a champion. His ability to adapt to what's in front of him. And it's a very hard quality to find. It's not, there's not a lot of fighters out there that are quick thinkers. A lot of the guys have different attributes. Burns, Borrachino, killers. Just a killer instinct. They just want to maim, but they have the skill set to go with it. Then you'll get a guy who's more of a thinker, George St. Pierre, who will systematically just break you down. And then you just get guys like Adesanya, John Jones, Anderson Silva, just magicians, can make anything happen anytime.
Yeah, so that's why that fight IQ is so underrated. I mean, it's just incredible. But if you look now at the way or trajectory of Burns, right, he's teammates with Kamaru Usman, but he said he's happy to fight him if need be. I mean, do you think that could happen? Surely, with what's happening in the welterweight division, we could well see Burns and Usman going for that gold strap.
Well, listen, if there's anything about a Brazilian, you know, he'll fight anybody. He'll fight his brother if he has to. So I don't think there's a problem there for him. He doesn't care. He's there to do a job. They just are. That's their mentality. You know, if they were in a school and their martial arts instructor walked up to the two of the class guys and said, "Okay, right, go," they fight. It's their job. You know, they don't think about it too much, and they don't allow emotion to play massive. They're not very emotional people when it comes to fighting. Kumar, maybe he might not. He might have an issue with it, but look, I think he's a professional as well. I think that's the stage it's got to. I think it's guys want to be champions. It brings a lot for them. It changes their lives in terms of money earnings and sponsors and stature. So, yeah, I mean, Burns a young guy coming through. He's hungry. He's not going to sit around and wait. And if it meant that he needed to move, he would more than likely make the move and the fight would be on.
Looking at that welterweight division, there's talk of all sorts of things happening. Masvidal trying to get Diaz for the BMF belt again, but they're saying that they want Masvidal to fight Conor. We've got
Conor.
And then
I'd love to see that fight.
Yeah, but what about?
No. Listen, yeah. I would 100% pay whatever it took to go and watch a fight if that happened. That fight would be unbelievable.
Masvidal Conor.
Masvidal is just he's
a gamer. He's a gamer.
It's like Pablo Escobar reincarnated. He is just he got so much swagger. He got such an intelligent mindset, and he's just stone cold. He sees nothing in front of him. He just wants to walk through it, and it's actually quite an intriguing thing to watch, like a guy like that, just in that space and how their mentality is. He's as cool as they come.
Because he's been fighting for years and years and years. In the streets, nothing scares him.
He's been fighting bare knuckle in the streets. A fist fight's like it's another day at the office for him. Connor's the same. I think you would see one of the best technical striking fights that UFC's ever put on if you put those two together. Because as tough and as hardcore as Masvidal is, he's also highly intelligent and he is an exceptional striker. And I think it makes such an interesting fight.
But now you saw on Twitter, Anderson Silva called out Conor McGregor for a super fight, and Conor's accepted on social media. Anderson Silva said they've got nothing to prove. Let's put on a show. What do you make of that?
Listen, fantastic. I think show fight, couldn't have asked for a better fight, because it's a fight everybody will get up to watch. Whoever's an MMA fan would love to just see Anderson Silva operate again. And I think it's at the stage with Anderson that no one cares whether he wins or loses. No one can put him away. Daniel Cormier tried. He couldn't. The heavyweight champion of the world, he couldn't put away Anderson Silva. Israel Adesanya, the bad boy of the middleweight division, who is just tearing through everybody, knocking them out. He couldn't put away the Anderson Silva, and it almost seemed like they were sparring with each other at one stage. So I think Anderson is just of the level that it would make for a great watch, because I think you would see a lot of fun come out in the sparring. I think it would almost be like a sparring match where each person gets paid a very big check.
And Conor's in the business of that, isn't he?
No, well, he's a money man. He's a money man. He doesn't worry about anything but what the check says.
I've got to ask you though. I mean, you look at names like Covington, Edwards. Where do they fit into this mix? Because like
I
Connor.
think Leon, yeah,
Yeah. No, carry on.
I think Leon Edwards is unlucky. I think he's a good guy. He's proven himself time and time again. I think he's been given a raw deal. Obviously, we've met him a few times when he was around Yannick. He fought on a few UFC cards with me. Good guy. I really like him. Exceptionally good, talented striker. Just a guy he's just not getting his chance. And I would like to see him fight soon. I think he poses a lot of threats to a lot of people. Maybe he's not as marketable. Maybe they think he's not as marketable as the other guys. But I think one thing about him is he needs to get a big fight next. He needs to get a top 3 guy to prove his worth. And I think if he does that and wins, then he'll definitely be in with a shot there. Yeah, I mean, I would really like to see him get a crack. He's a nice guy and he's a phenomenal athlete, and he's proven himself time and time again.
And what about Covington? I mean, he's been sort of shouting in the background like he wants attention. He wants attention.
Listen, again, phenomenal fighter, guy who's proven himself. No one can take away from him. Yeah, he fell into the arrogance of the Conor McGregor status and threw his mouth around. And, some people like it, some people don't. But we can't deny the things that he's done. I mean, he stepped up to the plate against Kamaru Usman. He stood right in front of him, went toe-to-toe with him. And I don't think he discredited his name in the pot either. So, I mean, look, great fight. The first fight was a great fight. Does he deserve another opportunity? If there's nobody to put up the hand, 100% yes.
Isn't it just incredible? I mean, we're just talking about UFC. The amount of talent we're talking about. You can have fight card after fight card after fight card until 2023. It's just so intriguing.
Well, I think we kind of seeing the capacity and the volume of fighters in the UFC now, because they've slowed down so much. I mean, they were literally every weekend there was a fight anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not happening. So there's now all of a sudden all these guys that are, they're waiting for their turn. They're waiting for a chance. Cards are very hard to come by. Guys who can fight, that's a very small portion of them. So, yeah, look, I hope it doesn't clog the divisions up. I hope that champions don't sit around and have nothing to defend, because people want to see championship fights. Yeah, a lot of interesting thing happening. Light heavies also, that's interesting up.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that, because and it maybe leads to your marketability, where you were talking about some fighters just sell fights and put bums on seats. And John Jones was that guy, but he's had a checkered past, and now he's had a go at the most important person in the UFC, and he's bid farewell to the UFC by accusing Dana White of lying during a negotiation. I mean, that's not the type of guy you want to be calling out and making problems with.
Yeah, look, so the situation with that is, I think Dana's been called out so many times by so many different high-end fighters through his career. He's seen the scenario before. So for him, it's nothing new. I don't think he's going to get emotionally attached to it. He's a businessman. He's going to do his job. Like he said, if he wants to go, he can go. If he wants to fight, he can fight. That's what it is. Maybe it is a good thing that the title gets relinquished. Maybe those guys who deserve another crack, give them an opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised that there's something in the working, and you would all of a sudden see John Jones return at heavyweight and be 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah, you're right. That could well be something.
I think he's after the heavyweight title. I think he's incomplete because of Daniel Cormier. I think that's the one thing that Daniel Cormier has over him, to say, well, you were the light heavyweight champion. I was the light heavyweight and heavyweight champion of the world. I defended both belts. You haven't done that. So there's a definite rivalry between those two. Yeah, I think John Jones is just of the stature that he's so controversial in everything that he does. And He's had a checkered past, but he's a guy who's performed every time he's been in there.
But he's
So his quality can never be questioned.
he's up
And
there
I think
with the goats, isn't he? He's up there with the goats. I
so
mean,
in a way, it's given him this pass, kind of
Mm.
like to, oh, now he can throw his little temper tantrum and leave, and then you'll come back and you'll get a big fight and make money.
Mm.
Will the UFC kick him out? Most definitely not. He's still John Jones, so he's still important to them. But I think it's kind of maybe a little cool off period is good for both of them, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think the way the whole situation is being handled is a little bit silly. I think from both ends. You protected him so long and looked after him for so long. You could have at least done this amicably and not let it be this way.
Yeah, it's playing up in the media. That's the problem. You don't want it to be playing out in the media.
Well, I think it's also they're talking about it.
Yeah.
They're talking about the UFC. They're talking about John Jones. I think they don't care. I think they've come to the stage that good publicity, bad publicity is all the same to them because people are talking about the UFC.
Yeah. But now that light heavy, I mean, Reyes must be thinking, here's an opportunity.
The Señor Reyes, let them go at it.
That's another barn burner, a potential barn burner. It really is.
I don't know if I'd like to fight the Señors. I don't care who I am. I don't know if I'd like to. He's like Francis Ngannou. You just don't want to. You don't want to be in that position because the potential of him shattering your jaw is very very likely. And I don't know. Good luck. Good luck to whoever has to fight him.
By the way, did you see Mike Tyson the other day? I mean, I know that he's been trying to get back into some boxing, but he's a guy that will smash your jaw even at 50.
So I actually posted one of his videos and just said, it doesn't matter at 53 years old, for him to move the way that he does, hit the way that he does, still at the same speed and with the same energy at 53 years old it's a beautiful thing to watch. Like it really, as a true fighter, to watch him go again the way that he does and still to be technically perfect and still hit. I'd love to see him fight somebody. In fact, he must do it. He must. Yeah, Mike Tyson fight somebody.
But
please.
Don't fight Evander Holyfield because I think he might damage Evander.
It's just not somebody. I want to see him hit somebody again. It's just be so much fun.
Well, it's the same when you watch Francis Ngannou. I mean, the guy is talking about getting a boxing fight. He's the same type of guy that if you get hit by him, he's going to break something. He just has that evil intention and raw power. It's a scary combo.
Yeah, it's just what he has is not. There's not a lot of people in the world that can do that, and they're not very nice people because they don't need to hit you. They just need to hit somewhere, and if it catches, good night.
No thanks. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy watching, I must say. We've
keep the money.
We've got to talk. This weekend is actually a massive event, isn't it? UFC 250.
Yes.
Amanda Nunes, one of the greatest of all time, she's up against Felicia Spencer in the main event. I mean, that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup.
So just before talking about ladies, did you see old Mackenzie Dern this weekend?
What she was dominant. What is it? Submission first round?
Listen, such good jiu-jitsu. It just shows you when you get to a world championship level in jiu-jitsu and then you face a person that can grapple, and the leg lock the knee bar that she put on is not an easy knee bar to put on by any standard, especially not under the pressure of somebody hitting you. And she was just textbook. It was, as a jiu-jitsu person, it was really, really good to watch. Like somebody who's really passionate about jiu-jitsu, to watch that level of skill be executed in a fight scenario, it was nice. It was special, very special.
She's 8 out of 9. She's got 8 wins from 9 bouts now, fights. She really is someone who's really getting better with each thing. And as you say, technically just absolutely sound. What's her trajectory look like now? Because she keeps knocking over names and taking a step closer to the top of the pile.
So I think for her, it's just understanding the environment. I think she's got that competitive mindset from jiu-jitsu. I think she's a 4 or 5-time world champion. I mean, she's exceptionally gifted when it comes to the groundwork. I think she's become more confident on her feet. You saw that she wasn't scared to stand and strike. Her distance and her range was a lot better. She said that she struggled with a takedown. She was battling to put the hands to the takedown to the ground, and spent a lot of energy. And you saw that in the first couple of seconds of the fight. She really worked hard to try and secure the clinch and use a hip throw. But once she managed to put her, oh no, she didn't actually. I think she shot. There was a little bit of a scramble, and she stayed on her back on the floor, and she wrapped in the knee bar from there, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But just, I think with her, she's just got to be in a space where, if you look like a Burns, those guys, good jits guys that are on the mix now, or good wrestlers, they're just starting to feel comfortable. She must be able to stand in the pocket and throw.
Yeah.
She mustn't worry about getting taken down or landing on her back because of the level of her game. She's so advanced that she would have reacted long before her opponent will ever put her in a really bad situation. So be more comfortable on your feet, plant your feet a little bit more, stick behind your punches. And because she's got good hip rotation from jiu-jitsu, she's going to have good power in her punches. And she's dropped a few goals. She's put a few goals away with punches. So yeah, she's definitely one to watch. I really think that with a little bit more time, she's definitely going to put her head up in that division and be somebody who can, she can be exciting.
Yeah, we're also seeing with women's MMA, there's also just an abundance of talent that's coming through the ranks. And, if you look at 250, UFC 250 with Amanda Nunes, 2-time division champion or 2-division champion. The first time she's defending her featherweight title this event. She's on top of the pile and everyone's trying to get her to fall. It's a tricky place to be, right? Because you almost have to set your standards higher each time with every opponent. You can't afford to slip up anyway. So it's almost more pressure than someone who's challenging for the title.
Yeah, look, again, like last week, Timbers made the reference that you can't judge anybody and think that they're not capable of winning. In this sport, anything can happen in a matter of seconds. No one ever thought that Amanda Nunes would knock Chris Cyborg out, and that's what happened. So again, this fight is interesting. Felicia can pose a threat. She can cause a problem. But Amanda Nunes, I think, is just at the moment, in my opinion, is just a little bit too far ahead of the women's division. And it's going to be a while before somebody's going to be able to match her. I think her physicality is just next level. It's going to take a really tough girl who can stick it in there with her. You need a big, strong girl that can wrestle really, really well. I mean, she against Katzengano, she had a terrible time. She just got out wrestled. So I think that's the kind of style that beats her. You don't want to be on the end of the punches because you know the power that she possesses. And she's a phenomenally good ground girl. She's got incredibly good jiu-jitsu. So she puts it together really well. And we know she's got a chin. She's not afraid to get stuck in. So yeah, I don't see Felicia winning this fight. But again, who knows? Who knows what happens?
There's already talk of the whole trilogy happening between Nunes and Shevchenko, but a lot of people sort of say, that's in the past now. I mean, what do you make of that?
Listen, I think that would be a really good fight. I think if that was a fight I would like to see, I would, or a fan would like to see, or a professional would like to see, then yeah, I mean, put it together. I think it's two phenomenally good strikers, and I think Nunes would take it on the floor. I think her ground game is better, but that would be fireworks. I mean, that's just two dominant females. I mean, I think that are, again, just so far ahead.
Yeah.
So why not make it happen? Let's see it. That's what people want to see. They want to see those fights. They want to see the best fight each other, and they want to know who the number one is, who's the number one female, who's the number one male.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that happens. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Borrachino go to light heavy and start calling John Jones out. I mean, that would happen soon. We know Israel's wanting to do it. So it's just these, in every area, there's really good fights.
That's why we pay to keep our Super Sport DSTV subscription, isn't it? It's actually the main reason.
Yes. Wouldn't be the same. Listen, that 250 card is phenomenal. Cody Garbrandt, again, I'm excited to see him. I think he's been off for a while. I want to see what's happened to him. I want to see what he's done. Has he fixed himself? Has he worked on his problems? Talented guy. Remarkable, was a champion, so we know what he's about. Rafael is interesting cat. He's a lot of experience. He's a gamer. I think that's going to be a nice fight. I think guys are going to enjoy that. That's fight of the night written all over it there. Yeah. Then the one that I'm really interested in is Eddie Wineland and Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is this he's just this far out there guy who's just got a love for fighting. He just wants to scrap. He's got a weird vibe about himself. He just throws from weird angles. He's not afraid to walk you down. Eddie Wineland is a phenomenal mixed martial artist. So been around also many years. Yeah, kind of a young versus old, and does he get stopped at the gates, or does he progress into being, one of the top guys in that division?
Isn't that the beauty of this sport? You really do not know what's going to happen when that octagon door shuts. You really don't know. I think that's the beauty of it. But if you're a punter, who are you putting money on this weekend?
Nunes, Cody, Sterling, Magna, and Sean O'Malley would be my picks. Okay. Definitely.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
good fight card.
There's a little bit of insight for you. It's a good fight card. It really is. But 250 should be a good fight card. You know what I mean? Iconic number.
Not a lot of massive names, so it's not like this star-studded card. Just good quality guys who are going to bring the show. Yeah. Are going to fight hard. They're going to definitely get that intensity up and running in that place. And I think we're going to see some incredible fights. I think the last 3 fight cards have been good fights.
They have indeed.
Yeah.
Quickly before we go, we're running out of time, Gareth. EFC are playing with the idea of doing something similar to what the UFC have been able to do in terms of, hosting the event, limited sort of setup. I mean, obviously with our government, contact sports are still not allowed in South Africa. But I mean, there's the potential at the EFC High Performance Institute, where you've been involved, with the fighter and all that, that they could pull it off.
No, look, I think they can definitely pull it off. The space is fantastic. It's small. They can keep the numbers down to almost nothing. They can control the movement in and out. The facility is under lock and key, so it wouldn't just be a case of people to move freely. The big thing would be the medical scenario. If they could follow the procedure, which they've been very good at medicals. I mean, EFC is really good at putting their backstage program together very well, and it's one of the best in the world. And I think they have the capability. Again, will the government allow them to make those changes? I think guys need it. The fighters out there are struggling. Guys need to fight. I think if the rest of the world can achieve it, there's no reason why we can't.
I agree with you 100%. All right, Gareth McClellan at Soldier Boy Inc. on Twitter and Instagram, also on Facebook. Thanks so much for your time as always. I'm looking forward to 250. I think it's going to be a great card, as you say. Not the biggest names in the world, but certainly the GOAT, Amanda Nunes, is one to keep an eye on for that fight. So it should be very good.
Yeah, look, the main fight is going to be a cracker, and then the rest of them are going to be interesting. Don't take your eye off them. They're going to be great to watch. I'm definitely going to be up. Yeah, I'm excited. Some sport again.
Some Sunday morning violence.
Yes.
But in a good way.
In a good way.
All right, Garreth, thanks for your time, man. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you have any feedback, feel free to get in touch. Thank you very much. It's been MMA Uncaged, episode number 4.
Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. And there will be no surrender. Now allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me J-O-N to the easy E-N. Know that we undefeated. Y'all are beneath them speeches trying to air a grievance. But his lines are overhead. Better check the air for clearance. Call the tower. This is ours. Clear the heat. The air apparent. Really, I've never been better. Legacy, this is forever. All the more times I've been severed. I'm raising the bar. You can go ahead and measure. Think about time for a toast. Time that we welcome to go. Y'all, we're just leaving a note. This right here forever.